Welcome everybody. Welcome to My Tribe podcast, February 2024. I am so excited. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel and also share this live because it's going to be amazing. I am so excited today to have the one and only Coach Ricardo Miller. Welcome, Coach Ricardo.
Megs, thank you so much for having me, man. I'm excited about this talk and congratulations on this podcast platform you're establishing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we're just going to dig right in. Please tell the viewers who Coach Ricardo is.
Well, my name is Ricardo Miller. I'm originally from Nassau, Bahamas, so I'm an islander, but I'm also a life coach. I am a pastor. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a friend. I like seeing people succeed. I love seeing people win. It's one of my greatest joys is to see people's purpose and potential maximize.
Awesome. I am privileged to be part of your effective living community. And I must say, it's so encouraging. Some mornings when I'm not working the night shift, I have my alarm set every morning at 6. And it's always so encouraging because sometimes you just be like, oh, I'm so tired. But after listening to your motivation every morning, I'm ready to face the day. So thank you for doing that. I'm going to dig right in. I have my regular questions, but since this is February, the month of love, we would like to hear how you would answer this question. Mm-hmm. So what is your advice, Coach, to someone who... to people who have faced relationship challenges and are ready to give love a chance again?
Well, first I would say is thank you for wanting to give love a try again. I think for persons having gone through challenges, sometimes some people say, I'm not going to do it again because it was so painful. It was so hard. I can't believe it. That's what I went through. Well, a long life's journey, we're all going to go through. The unfortunate thing is we don't get to choose what we go through. And a long life journey, if we're going to go through, this is what I tell people, you have to embrace life like a classroom. And Coach Megs, a lot of us, when we were in school, they built us for tests. They tell you, well, next month that math test is coming, that English test is coming. Well, along the way, relationship test comes as well. And so what I would say, understand that that's a part of life. And because you are willing and ready to do love again, I would say, first and foremost, look at what your view of love was or what your view of love is. A lot of times, our preconceived idea of love has been built by erroneous ideologies that actually messed us up in the first place. And so I do this radio show in the Bahamas on Mondays, and oftentimes I hear people say about what they want, and it's not really what they need, it's what culture has suggests they should pursue. Mm-hmm. And so doing love again, I think it first starts with knowing what you want. When I made the commitment that I was going to do love again and that I was going to marry again, I had that figured out. The first time around, I didn't have that figured out. So when I got punched in the face by life, when life threw me that exam like it does all of us, I was shocked because I wasn't prepared for the exam. And my partner equally wasn't prepared for the exam. So what I said, Megs, was my experience in my previous marriage was two issues. She was broken and I was ignorant. And she was broken. I was ignorant. She didn't know how broken she was. I didn't know how ignorant I was. And both of us were trying to do life. And so now we had this class called Life that came and challenged us, and the relationship ended. So for me, number one is figure out what love and love with another person is going to be. And secondly is extend yourself. Have the audacity to step out of the box and go for it. And go for it on your terms, not what you may have been taught in times past. And that's that, some people say, oh man, I'll say this real quick, Megs. Do you know I lived for 40 years never walking up to a female and just outright talking to her. 40 years. Never. Point blank. And I had my share of dating and all that stuff in school, and I was in a gang, and I was go to the club and everything. I never walked up to a girl and said, hey, what's up? Never, ever.
Wow.
Every relationship I had, Megs, was someone said to me, it's me knowing you, we work at the same place, we go to the same school, we live in the same neighborhood, go to church, and you walk past my house or we're at the job, and you says, hey, Ricardo, my girlfriend, she likes you. I could take it from there. That was my practice up to 40 years old. And remember, I told you have to now decide to live life on your terms and figure out what you didn't do right. Mm-hmm. Because the second time around, this time I says, I can talk to her. I did it different.
Do you mind telling us how you met Karen?
Yeah, I was at a car wash. I had a complaint. I called 911. She's a police officer. And I called 911 because I had a complaint. I told them I could handle myself, but the respectful, decent thing was to call and report it. So in the event this thing was to go haywire, I would be able to say, hey, didn't I not call you guys and tell you all this was escalating? Mm-hmm. And so behold, being that she's a police officer, she don't normally make calls like this, but she decided this day that let me go and see because I'm in the area. She pulls up. And I saw this female police officer comes out of the car, and I thought, a police female officer hadn't been pulled over by one before, never spoke to one before, knew of others, but never had to deal with one in a situation like this. Mm-hmm. When she came to my car and she was like, sir, what's going on? I was like, oh my Lord, I could talk to this lady right here, right? And we it sort of sparked right there. Mm-hmm. And she resolved the issue. And at the end, I said, man, you did a phenomenal job resolving this issue. I said, this is the catcher right here, cold call. I said, you should allow me to take you for lunch to say thank you.
Just like that.
I went for it, Megs. I went for it. And here's the deal. And she said, unfortunately, I can't accept that invitation in this uniform. I said, well, we can fix that. That's what, once I knew, you remember that I just needed the little knowing that there was this hint of a thought there. Once she said, I can't date that, I was like, well, we can fix that. If you give me your number, I can call you when you out of the uniform.
Wow.
And it started there, and that was before the pandemic. So, but I did something I hadn't done before. And I think a lot of times we go back to the same old thing only to get the same old thing or the same old result. One, we didn't do the study in preparation for this life's commitment, because life is a commitment that's going to come in the form of a test. Before you commit, you need to have done your homework, knowing what and who you are. So I did that before Karen, because I had gone through a brutal, bad, horrible experience in a divorce. But then the second time around, I was like, okay, I'm going to approach this a little bit different. So I would say to the persons listening, approach it a little bit different. Go where you wouldn't normally go, which I do now. Enjoy what you normally would not have enjoyed, which I do now. And then break some of the codes. Okay? If you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before.
Wow. That is so exciting. And thank you for sharing your story. I'm sure a number of people are going to hear it here for the first time.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach, for answering that question. I'm just going to add another one since we're on the topic of relationships. I think dating, as you notice, even though yours was different now, is so different from what it was before. And there's so many, there's online dating. What do you suggest for someone who's just like, okay, I'm here. They go to church and either all the men in the church are married or they're too young. What do you suggest to them?
Well, I would say go where you're naturally okay, and go where you're naturally okay, but that's a fertile space
Mm-hmm.
for connection. Which I mean, like, a lot of times people say, there aren't a lot of guys in churches, or maybe it's too small of a church. I need to go to bigger churches that has single groups and a young adult or adults
Mm-hmm.
social activities at a bigger scale, right?
Right.
That's number one. And number two is then I would make sure that I'm in social environment that is at my league, at my level. A lot of times, listen, the smaller the space, the less options you're gonna have. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, the smaller the space, the less options you're gonna have. So you gotta go in spaces that has, if you hadn't done the Cowboys game, go to a place that's 90,000 people there, man. There's some people here who aren't connected. Okay, you
Right.
you're in Houston, go and visit Lakewood Church. 16,000 Christians worshiping in that. Go to a Toby Mac concert. Go to a Kirk Franklin concert and find yourself and go to Christian comedy shows and just allow yourself to be in spaces that are bigger than the norm. A lot of times we want more, we want better, but we don't put ourselves out there for that. And I would say this: look at what we examine as the views of what I want again. I'm going to say that. And I mean, like you said, too young. What is too young? What is too old? You got to really examine that and says, you know what? Where did I get that from? Where
Mm-hmm.
did I get? Watch this. Watch this. I'm not saying this. I'm gonna push the envelope right here, man. You ready for this? You
That's
ready
it.
for this? Here's the deal. I was in the pool. I was at my pool at my place when I would live by myself, right? And I'm swimming and stuff. And these ladies were coming in the pool. 3 ladies coming in the pool. And one lady, she said, "Oh, Mister Work, but once I know you got that, she got a little interest in, oh boy, yeah, I could take it from there, right?" So she was like, "Hey," I was like, "Hey, what's up?" Right? Long story short, I'm 42 at the time. I'm 42 at the time or so. And I'm swimming in the pool. And she said, "Oh, you must be a Marine. You can swim so good," complimenting her brother, right? So I'm like, boy, this one is going straight for the kill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what Aaron. She comes in the book. "Can you show me how to swim?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can show you how to swim." But I said, she said, "So how old are you?" And I think I said at the time, I can remember my age. I said 42. She says, "I'm 27." And I said, "I don't play with children." I mean,
And that was a wrap.
and that was a wrap. That was a wrap. I say that to say this. I've said that in 20 different public environments. And most of the guys was like, "Dude, you shut down to 27? You should have feel like a rock star being able to attract a 27 at 42 because there is nothing wrong with that." And I said, to me, it was something wrong with it. I say that to say, in all honesty, there
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of people who are connecting in that same frame. Even though it was a rule of minds, it
Mm-hmm.
was, and that's not a big general rule. There are a lot of people who don't have that level of established limitation as to, I wouldn't do that type of relationship with that age gap. So, and
Mm-hmm.
I said the age thing, I think a lot of time we do that. Some people say ethnicity. Well, I'll never date a Hispanic guy. I'll never date an African. I'll never date a Caribbean guy. I'll never date a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
Your true love may be in what you say you'll never. You
Mm-hmm.
know, oh,
Yeah.
I'm 45. I'll never date a 30-year-old. Well, your true love may be in the 30-year-old. I have a pastor friend. He could be 60 right now, but when he got married, and I think they were married easily 25, almost 30 years. And
Mm-hmm.
his wife is like 12 years older than him.
Wow.
12 years older than him. And they've done exceptionally well.
They're not
Exceptionally.
they're not African though.
They're black, but they're not African.
Wow. Okay. I mean, an African, it's harder. like 2 years older, you'll be hearing, she's too old for you. Just 2 years.
That's because going back to your point, you hear what you just did. The narrative is coming from outside, not
Right.
from the person's natural connection.
Mm,
Did
mm,
you see that?
mm-hmm.
The narrative, she is too old for you. Who's saying that? And why am I listening to them? Because I'm the one in pursuit of love, and I have an attraction. She has an attraction. I have an attraction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, So where did that come from? Where did that come from? And that's the part where I'm talking about. If a guy is 30 years old and he wants to talk to a chick who is 45 years old, and she is confident enough to allow him to continue to talk without the stereotype factor,
Mm-hmm.
listen, have your day. Okay? I tell you this, I'm saying this, and my wife will kill me for me saying this. If I had to date again, I would not have a problem going 10 years above or 10 years old. I would not have a problem probably even going all up in the close. I'm 50 now, so going but 35. I would go 35 that way, and I would go straight up to 60 that way.
Wow.
Being that I know me now,
Mm-hmm.
outside of the stereotype position of culture and people and all that crap. See, but this is the liberating. This is the liberating thing. This is the freedom. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Right.
she's dating a dude who's 10 years younger than her. Or he is dating a chick who's 10 years older than her.
Mm-hmm.
That's external factors that are messing with what could be genuine. That can be real. That can be authentic. That can be what God has ordained for you. But
Mm-hmm.
society has caused you to now put this wall up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen, I do a show in the Bahamas, as I mentioned before. And I said this on the show, hands down. I say the guy is perfect in every way, Megs. I say he is perfect in every way, except the fact that he is 5 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
All of the chicks on the panel says, then he ain't for me. I'm not dating no dude who's 5 feet tall. No. Now, that's called stereotyping.
Mm-hmm.
I just said he is everything. Man of God, financial provider, probably sexually engaging, emotionally sensitive, safe around children, safe around other women. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Financially stable. I said all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And on a national platform, every woman who call in says, I ain't doing no. Where, and I know you've heard and seen conversations like that.
Yes. Yes.
Where did that established locked-in rule
Come
came from?
from.
And
Mm.
that's why I believe we're experiencing such a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
because people are not hooking up for best interest. People are hooking up for public view.
Wow.
Social media view, all of the view. We live in a very high view of others'
Mm-hmm.
position in society.
Right.
What's she driving? Where's she living? How she dressed? Who she dating? Or you know what I mean? What he does?
Mm-hmm.
All of that. When you could find somebody who's everything you want, but just simply broke all the mold for what you previously, you know.
So what I'm getting, Coach, is we need to look outside the box.
Yes, but in looking outside of the box, one has to become comfortable with the fact that there's a view outside of your previous view. You have to really become okay with that. Really. Like I'll say this, and anybody watching this Bahamas, I don't care. I'm 48 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've had people when I got divorced, because I had married an African American the first time. When I got divorced, I'm like, there's no way I'm marrying. I'm a proud Bahamian. You've been to the Bahamas. I love the Bahamas. I am marrying a Bahamian girl. I want somebody who can understand culture, music, everything, the politics, the investment, the education, the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
I said that's what I should have done the first time. Going back to the narrative that was external.
Mm-hmm.
Then I
Mm-hmm.
talked to a couple of people I respect, and they said, "Well, you know, you cannot marry anything other than a Bahamian this time." I said, "Pardon me?" They said, well, "You will get stoned coming back to this country, having a second time to get married, and you still go." Being a proud Bahamian, you still chose to go and marry someone else from another country with
Mm-hmm.
your position home to being able to come home and respect homegrown, you gonna be crazy. You will get stoned. And if I tell you who the people who told me that, you'll be like, those are highly respected people in my life. But when I decided to break down the wall of public opinion and their view was in that view, I said I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't going for what I thought everybody thought I should have. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going for what I believe I need to have.
Right.
So when I was Karen and I was really developing at a very strong level, I was entertaining a conversation in the Bahamas too with somebody. And it was really between, oh my goodness. I mean, you got me, listen, you got me going real on your show today. What's it? I'm going, where's it
Me
gonna
too.
be? Where's it gonna be? Where's it gonna be? And I prayed about it. I
Mm-hmm.
prayed about it and I ended up with another African American. My intent was to marry a Bahamian,
Mm-hmm.
every bit of it. I never said that anywhere else. I just said it on your platform recorded.
Well, thank
Okay.
you.
That was my intent. However,
Mm-hmm.
that's not how God directed it. And that was not where the peace and the high level of inner connection that I felt this is the woman for me. This is the woman, and I lean that way because at some point you got to get out of public view and remind yourself you're an adult. This is your life's partner. You
Mm-hmm.
want somebody who you could cherish, they can cherish, y'all both can cherish each other and do life together. But that's going to cost you to have to remove yourself
Mm-hmm.
from all of this public pressure. And I'm telling you, Mags, there is no man shortage. There is no woman shortage. There is a shortage when it comes to our preconceived ideas as to what we want.
Mm-hmm. That is good. And that just leads me to another question. I know we've gone off the way we normally
You're
do, but
fine. You're doing great.
it's February, it's the month of love, and we want to know. So, having married someone who's not from your culture,
Yep.
what are the main hurdles or challenges that you had to go through at the beginning to help y'all um, gel together or become one?
Well, I'll say this because I did it twice, right?
Right.
The first time, we both were living a lie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the lie was cultural narratives or religious narratives. In other words, we were in a bubble, but we weren't true to each other.
Right.
And it was under the religious bubble or the cultural narrative that I was, hey man, like me, I said, I'm from the streets, man. I'm from the islands. I got 5 things I'm bringing to the table, and I should be a good man. Guess what? A woman need like 100 things. You need no 5 things. I learned that the hard way, right?
Right.
I did. I brought 5 to the table.
Mm-hmm.
That was limiting. You remember I told you mine was ignorance? Hers was broken, mine was ignorance. I bought 5 things. I thought I was a provider. I was a believer. You know what I'm saying? I thought, I said, I think I'm good to look at. I thought, I took care of everything in bed. I thought I was a protector. I thought, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, but I wasn't emotionally sensitive. I was emotionally dead.
Wow.
I had no emotional sensitivity to our relationship. I didn't know it was something that was critically needed. I didn't understand the power of love language. What I thought was love language, Megs, my love language was built around culture again. So a lot of times people say, "Oh, my love language is," right? And so what I would say was my love language was gift giving, acts of kindness, and my love language, mine was acts of kindness. But watch it, I learned that that's actually not even my love language. Mine is physical touch. But listen, I could be as angry wanting to tear down the whole neighborhood and the love of my life touched me, I calm right down like a baby.
Wow.
I didn't know that before, but I grew up in an environment. The girl love you based on what she bought you for your birthday, what she bought you for Christmas. You get what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
that's superficial. That wasn't even real. But I had
Mm-hmm.
to learn that late. So going back to this whole view of looking at culture and then learning what is a lie. Miles Monroe said this term. He says sometimes we have to divorce ourselves from our culture
Mm.
because the position of our culture can be so limiting and possibly so wrong, but it's our entire culture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Get what I'm saying? You're like, man, everyone in my country does this. That don't mean it's right.
Right.
So now you have to elevate yourself above culture. And that's what I meant. Like the first time around, I was built around, I'm a man of God, I'm a provider, I'm a priest. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to do manly stuff around the house. And those are the things I brought. Take care of her in bed. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
And then she thought, okay, this is what I need to do for him. And it wasn't really what I needed. So we were both wrong. The second time around, as your question alluded to, was this time I said, I'm going to do it on my terms. What is it that I really want? And find out from her, what is it that she really wanted? And then as we talk, which I believe goes against culture, is freely express yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, don't make a life commitment with anybody who will not freely express himself. Anybody who won't tell you the truth, you should never commit your life to. Who
Wow.
won't openly tell you the truth. One of the number one reasons for divorce is communication. What is lack of communication? Oftentimes, not wanting to say. Megs, everybody else knows, but the person who needs to know. Your girlfriend knows,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but your partner doesn't know. His friends know, but
Mm-hmm.
his spouse doesn't know. So when I do my show in the Bahamas on the radio, I tell them the healthiest of relationships have the most candid of conversations. And previously, I didn't want to know who you dated before. I didn't want to know this. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. Leave that in your past. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Now I can walk in. I say, so who in here you used to date? Who I got to watch out for? Right? Hey, what's it? Who you got little soul ties connected with that
Mm-hmm.
who you can be left in the room with.
Mm.
Hey,
Mm. Mm.
I know I gave you the ring, but who still makes you weak in the knees? Hello. See that level of conversation. I said I wanted that. I wasn't raised around that. I was raised around a guy didn't laugh, a guy didn't talk, a guy didn't really dive into. A guy wasn't emotionally sensitive, and so I had to find that out. And I had to find somebody who was similar, who also wanted an authentic, pure, out of the box kind of relationship. And so, with that said, we don't judge our position on a lot of public view.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was a part of it. That was so Karen and I to this day, we say things like, are we good? And we're like, oh man, my mama might not like this, her mama might not like this, our neighbors may not like this, her school friends may not like this. The question is, are we good?
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Because
Mm.
we ain't doing this for them. But most people, man, you'll see guys, you embarrass me because now my friends think I'm this. Because his view is on them. Or she comes in, I can't believe you said it like that. You know what they think about? Because her view is on them. No, no, no. If I know you and you know me,
Mm.
whatever you and I saying to each other anywhere, nobody matters as much. That's beyond culture.
Right.
That's beyond culture. As a matter of fact, some people have gone as far to say to me, man, you operating like another ethnicity because that ain't Bahamian. And I said, thank you. That's a compliment.
Mm. Mm.
Because remember now, I need to divorce myself from a certain way. And I think that would be the thing. So when it comes to dating someone outside of the culture, I think it's actually amazing. When I say it's amazing, because if y'all are honest, you get to really dissect all of your differences, which makes a relationship amazing because you could talk about it. And
Mm-hmm.
you could say, you know, in my culture, this is totally taboo. You know, I can't be doing, I would normally not do this. You know, I would this, I would that, I would that,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. And then on her side, she said, well, you know, in my culture. And so now that brings a level of amazingness to the relationship. I mean, it's just if y'all want to work through that together. But if
Mm-hmm.
y'all are working through, we go on the holiday break with some family members, and everybody's going to be doing it this way. And you and I have committed not to go that route.
Right.
Can we stand strong enough to show up and be different? So I'll give you another example.
Mm-hmm.
Ministers in the Bahamas up to lately would not go on a dance floor with their wives. They wouldn't. And I remember Karen and I, for our honeymoon, I took her to the Bahamas. And we went to the Bahamas, and the guy at the restaurant who was doing the music, he knew me and said, man, Ricardo Miller Show, do you have a song? And I told him the song, and I went on the dance floor, and I was dancing with my wife. And a guy walked up in the back of me, because he knew me, and he said, hey, Rev, don't forget you're a pastor. And I said, don't forget she is my wife. Don't play it. You see? And
Mm-hmm.
so we have something that's amazing, but we're having to break out of a lot of the position of what everybody else view us.
Right.
And a lot of times, a lot of people aren't there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to dating, when Karen and I was dating, we would have real good candid conversation, and we talk about that. How far can we go in being real? And I think that's for your viewers and your listeners. I would say, even for those who are in a relationship, build your relationship to the point where you guys can talk about it all. You know.
Wow. That has been so good. You've given us so many nuggets, and the biggest thing I got here was the smaller the space, the less the options you will have.
Yep.
I had a mentor who told me the only person who will come to your house is the postman.
Yep.
So you have to get out.
Yeah.
You have to get out of the house and get into bigger spaces.
Business. Mm-hmm.
And everything you shared today is so good. We have to do a part two of this because we cannot finish it all in part one.
Yeah.
But how can people get in touch with you? I know you have a book out. Can you tell us about that and how people can join your effective living community?
Yeah, RicardoMiller.com. You can check out my book, Effective Living. This right here is amazing. This is a guide. I'm wanting to live every bit of this book, and this is where I teach from. This is where I'm living from. This is what I'm selling at RicardoMiller.com. Anywhere books are sold, you can find this. It's in Kindle. It's in Audible. It's paperback. All of that good stuff. And so, Meg, they can get Ricardo Miller, Coach Ricardo Miller on all social media platforms.
Coach Ricardo Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Coach. I think people that are in the single space that want to date will now look beyond Africans or Bahamians
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
open up, knowing love is possible beyond your own culture and how you were raised. Thank you so much. I will definitely call you again to My Tribe podcast. Just quick question about My Tribe is about knowing your tribe and doing life with the people God has put in your life.
Yeah.
Who is your tribe, and how do you connect or keep in touch with the people in your tribe?
Man, thank you so much for that question. My tribe is global. Going back to love again, my tribe is global. And had I knew that the power and purpose of having a global tribe, I would have not been so limited to my view of it had to be Bahamians, because now I have brothers, literally brothers. I have sisters, kingdom sisters in at least a dozen countries. I was telling Karen at one point there is at least 6 countries I can move to today, get a ticket, and somebody would have me stay in their home up to a month.
Mm. Mm.
That's how knitted we are. I'm like, hey, I need to come to Mexico. I need to be there for a month, or Jamaica, or I need to go to Nigeria. I mean, literally connected people. And so I believe in tribe. I believe it's important for us to do life with others. And I think it's a mistake with 8 billion people on the planet for us to only do life with those in our village is
Yes,
a
that's
mistake.
true.
It's a very limited position.
Yeah.
And so I think with that in conjunction with your topic that we talked about a lot today, I
Mhm.
think also when you start thinking about that uh, mix, there are people who left China only to become successful when they left. There were people who left their village only to find success and everything they desire when they left. You know
Right.
what that basically indicates? Sometimes where you are, what you need may not be present. And so you may need to go to another country to find love. You may need to go to another country to find your millions. You may need to go to, you know what I'm saying, to a different region to
Mm-hmm.
establish yourself to be who God's created you to be. So the concept of embracing tribe as a person along the way, critical, super important. Anybody who says I don't do people aren't doing life well.
Wow. You don't do people, you're not doing life well. Thank you so, so much, Coach Ricardo. This could go on for an hour,
I
but
know.
we will definitely bring you back. And thank you, viewers. Please share, please subscribe to our channel. And looking forward to seeing you. Remember, you are not an island. Find your tribe, locate your tribe, invest in your tribe, and build your tribe, as we've learned today. Thank you so much, Coach Ricardo. God bless you.